Welcome. It's been one of those nights. Welcome, everybody, to Edge of the Rabbit Hole. We have a fantastic show coming up for you tonight, Tarot, Divination, and Astrology, with our own co-hostess, Victoria Mundae. Coming up next. Welcome back, everybody, to Edge of the Rabbit Hole. I'm author and ghost historian Mike Ricksecker. With me, as always, is my co-hostess, Victoria Mundae. And down in the chat room, Quarantine Ghost, haunting the chat. We have a fantastic show coming up for you tonight, Tarot, Divination, and Astrology. So our regular guest for this evening, Jessica Potter, was unable to make it. She had a project come up down in Tennessee, so we're going to have her on in December. She's a psychic medium. We'll have her back on. So we decided this kind of last minute. We're going to talk about tarot, divination, and astrology. Victoria, my wonderful co-hostess, is knowledgeable in these things, and well, I may be picking up a thing or two here or there, but she's gonna learn me a thing or two here. So Victoria,
Dear Lord.
Welcome again to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah, we have you every week.
A happy meal, whatever.
So,
What did I learn?
all right. Well, already down in the chat room, they were looking forward to your take on these different topics. Now, you said the good place to start here is with a natal chart. So
Right.
we'll just dive right into it. You did send me this photo here of your natal chart. So what is a natal chart? And this has to do with astrology. So what is this, and what are we supposed to be doing with it?
Okay. If you were able to hop out of the womb at the moment of birth and run out and look outside and look up, that's what you would see. So this is the placement. It's a graphical representation of where all the zodiac signs are and all the planets and everything at the very moment of your birth. So each person's is different. I'm a Libra, and so think of all the millions of people who were born the same day as I, or share a birth date. So this is how we're different, because it's all different, latitude, longitude, times of day, times of night, so it plays a big part into making you very unique.
Hey, Victoria, is there a way to up your volume a little bit? Telling people, or I'm getting messages that your volume's pretty low. I've upped your volume over here, but
I can push a button or two, but
Sure.
that works.
all right.
Okay, is that any better?
Oh, yeah, that's really loud now. Okay.
Oh, I see. You want me to be a happy?
I got it. We're good. We're good right there. Okay.
Okay.
So continue, please.
Okay. So this is what the world outside of Earth looked like at the very moment I was born. So there you go. You got me in a nutshell right there. There's many ways you can interpret this too. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, so what are we supposed to do with the natal chart? What is this supposed to... Okay, so it shows us basically the heavens or the sky or whatever at the moment that we're born, but what do we do with it from there?
Okay, if you look at mine, if you go back to mine,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to push a button. The bar that goes horizontally, the one on the left-hand side, that's my ascendant. And so that is how I appear to the world. So I'm at a 0 degrees Aquarius, which is kind of unique. And so if you go all the way across, that's my descendant. And that's how I really am when push comes to shove. And I'm at 0 degrees Leo. I'm also born on a cusp. So it's like the triple whammy. And I saw today I have a grand trine in there, which is a good thing, which I never knew I had one before. So I never looked at it. So to the untrained eye, I would be a Libra. So I'm balanced. I like sweets, and I try and be fair and logical. I appear to be an airhead because that's the Aquarius, but my reality, I'm a Leo. So if you do something, or if I have to, fight back, I'm basically going to kick your ass, and you'll never see it coming because you think I'm an airhead. So it works really well in poker. So now, if you divide that line, still going in half, there's another way to interpret the chart. All the planets and the stars that are above means you're cerebral. So you're like a thinker in life. Anything below means you're a doer in life. So you have to learn through trial and error, basically. So if you were to divide it up and down the middle, The half on the right side would mean that you've lived many times before and you're finally coming back to fulfill your karma or your destiny. And if you flip it over and look on the left side, that means you're basically a new soul. And you might have more challenges because you basically have free will and you're working through all these things you have to learn. So, but if you look at mine, I'm kind of cerebral and I'm here to fulfill my destiny. So there you have that, you know. But there's so many different ways you can interpret it. But once you learn your natal chart and where all the planets are and how it all fits together, then when you hear astrologers talk about like, well, Mars is conjunct something or another, or Mercury's gone retrograde, you look in your natal chart, find where Mars and Mercury and all these planets are, and see how that affects you. Because Mars going retrograde through, let's say, your house of family relationships, this is something you need to take a look at. Sort some things out. Is there something you need to fight for? Is there something you need to work on? But it's really interesting once you get into it. So
Yeah, it does sound interesting. Now, use the terms ascendant and descendant. So what are those and what's the difference between them?
The ascendant is the horizon, basically, and it's whatever astrological sign or planets or stars were on their horizon at the moment of your birth. So in mine, for example, Aquarius. Aquariuses are very in their head. They're very communicative. Or not talk. They talk. What's that word? Communicatable? No.
Communicative?
Yes, that's it.
Okay.
Wait, isn't that a disease? No, wait, no. No, they're in their head. They have their ideas. They're very good at. Obviously, I'm not, but they're very good at communication. And a Leo, if you go across the descendant, that's how you really are when it comes come to shove. Like, for example, one day somebody did my daughter wrong, and Mother Bear came out, and they're like, "Whoa, I didn't know you were like that."
Okay.
It's like you don't. So it's how you really are.
Okay, so how are those different? Because usually, I mean, up until just very recently here, I hadn't heard of these terms, and so it's I find it kind of ironic that we're talking about this now because this was just kind of introduced to me recently. So usually when people talk about, okay, what sign are you? You have a birth date, and like mine's July 21st, so that's a Cancer, like right at the very end of Cancer. But okay, I'm a Cancer. So, but that's different than this ascendant and descendant stuff. So why do we have three different things here?
It makes you unique. Just think of all the people born on July 21st. How many Mike Rickseckers do we have walking around? Billions, millions. This makes
there's just a handful of Mike Rickseckers, actually.
People born on that day. Work with me. People born on that date, July 21st. I'm sure there are thousands, maybe millions.
Oh, as far as people born on that day, yeah.
Yeah. So you're not all carbon copies. This is what makes you different. This is your unique imprint on the earth. This is what makes you different. So depending on what time you were born, where you were born, the stars and the planets are all different. Like I was born at 117 in Houston. So 117 in New York would have a totally different, if you look up in the air, it would look different because it's a different latitude and longitude. So it's what makes you unique.
Okay, so even the place that you're on the earth makes a difference here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So we do have a question here from Quarantine Ghost. QG wants to know, does Victoria use sidereal or tropical astrology?
Well, what? I don't know. No, I don't think so. I think this is all Western astrology. This is just what I've taught myself. I did take one class online, and it was like an eye-opener because I never knew how you connected the natal chart to what's going on in the world today. So, like, I keep joking with you, and I keep telling you, Mars is retrograde. Mars is retrograde. It's what you fight for, and where is Mars? Mars is in my.
Let's bring yours back up.
No, I have it over here too. You think it's actually my wallpaper. So Mars is over there in my house of relationships. So yeah, that's something I'm going to fight for. That's important to me. And double whammy, my North Node, which is my soul's purpose this time around, is also in the 7th house. If you notice, everything is in the 7th house. So I'm basically screwed, because relationships are very, very important to me. I don't care about work and money or anything. It's all about the people.
Okay, so looking at the natal chart here, you have a lot of different you have a lot of different things all over the place here.
Mm-hmm.
And so what is somebody who's, brand new to a natal chart and they're looking at this, what do all these different little things mean here? I mean, you don't have to describe every single one, but kind of in general, what exactly we were looking at.
Okay, there are 30 degrees in each zodiac sign.
Oh, and I do have to apologize to those that are listening to the podcast later. You're not going to be able to see this, but Victoria can explain a little bit.
Man, I'm doing a great interpretive dance too. Sorry. There's 30 degrees in each astrological sign. That's where those little tick marks are on the inside.
Okay.
And then it's broken down into astrological signs. So in mine, the first house is in Aquarius and it's also in Pisces, but the majority of it's in Aquarius. So then you look and you say, okay, well, this planet's here, this planet's there. And then if you look up in Libra, you see the sun. So that's my my sun sign, basically. So I have the traits of Libra, but individual to me are the traits of Aquarius and Leo mixed together. So I'm just a mess. So but your north node, which kind of looks like the Omega, which is kind of almost on the line on the left-hand side, that's my soul's purpose this time around. So this is what I'm supposed to be working on, are family relationships and dynamics with persons and stuff like that. But if you go directly across, and I don't think it's on this chart, that's called your south node, and that's what you're here to release. And so directly across from that would be the first house, which is the house of self and ego. So apparently I was really full of myself before, never had a relationship because it was all about me. So this time around, I'm here to learn how to have relationships with peoples. And, it's not all about me. It's about everybody else.
And do you think you've been successful so far? You don't have to answer that.
Well.
Right. Okay. We do have rough days.
Third time's the charm. I'm holding out.
There you go. So you did mention Mars retrograde here, and you kind of have been joking around about that lately. So what exactly is supposed to happen during a Mars retrograde?
Well, the planets, they really don't go backwards, okay?
Right. It's an illusion. It's an optical illusion, right?
It's like this, Okay. So the planets are going along, and all of a sudden it goes, nope, I'm going to go back the other way, and then it starts going back the other way, and you're like, no, I'm going to go back the other way, when it goes forward again. So Mars is the warrior in you. So wherever Mars appears in your natal chart, that's where you need to look. And it's going to go backwards because it's saying, I don't think you really paid attention. I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to give you a little bit more time. And then it's going to go forwards again. So it's basically something you need to take a look at. This year, especially 2020, has been insane because every planet has been retrograde. At the beginning of the year, and I went around last year like Henny Penny telling everyone, oh my God, you're not going to believe what happened. Nobody believes me. And then look what happened. But we had 3 major planets in Capricorn. Capricorn is the earth. It's self. It is your home security. It's terra firma. Major planets were all conjunct, all stationed next to each other in Capricorn, sorry. And what that was symbolic of was major shifts that were going to start taking place. And these outer planets are called generational planets because they move so slowly from our point of view. So like people who you went to high school with, you share the same placement with the outer planets because, might go 2 degrees in a year, whereas the moon goes like 3 degrees in a day or something. It just travels much faster. So those are the generational planets, the last 3. So that would be like, for the kids these days, I think, because we're moving into the Aquarius, I'm sure you've heard the age
We're
of
on
Aquarius.
the dawn, yeah. Or the dawn of the age of Aquarius, right.
Big things are happening in December 21st. An age is roughly 2,000 years, and it's not something like you can just turn a calendar and then boom, you're in Aquarius. It is, it's a mesh. And so probably since the late 80s, early 90s, we've been transferring and transforming into Aquarius. And Aquarius, here's the great thinkers, the great speakers, the great communicators, the great ideas, revolutionary things. And I wrote it down because it was so cool too. On December 21st, which is the equinox. No, solstice.
Solstice. Right.
Winter solstice.
Yeah. Today is the autumnal equinox. So
Woohoo!
happy equinox day, everybody.
Did you have your gourds? You're supposed to eat gourds today.
Are we? I did eat a little pumpkin.
Okay, that's a gourd.
So, okay.
Yeah. That sounds good.
Here we go.
But meanwhile, back at the ranch. Jupiter and Saturn are going to be conjunct, which means they're going to be next to each other. And these are major planets.
They are pretty close together right now, yeah.
Okay.
If you just look up in the sky right now, yeah, they're pretty close. Yeah.
They're going to get even worse. They're going to be at 0 degrees, 0 degrees of Aquarius on December 21st. This is like,
okay, so they're
right,
actually getting closer together right now, or at least as they appear in the sky, closer together as we get closer to December 21st. Okay.
Now, what this means, back it up a little. The beginning of November was a good way to put this. All hell's going to break loose. There's just no other way.
Don't tell us. Come on. We've already had enough of this in 2020.
Well, I'm sorry. Saturn, Pluto, and Mercury will all be conjunct together. These are all major players. This is happening right before the election. Okay. So this is symbolizing that it's going to be messy. So go buy your toilet paper now, stock up on your soup now. You don't want to go outside. Me personally, intuitively, I think it's going to be a bad election. And some people are not going to want to give up, and some people aren't going to want to start something.
The apocalypse is coming.
I'm trying to be careful of my words because, manifestation.
Yeah. No, I get it.
But we will get through this because December 21st, everything is going to line up again. And that will be the beginning of Aquarius. So it's going to be some nastiness between November and December, but it will get better. And this whole, everybody in Capricorn, they only get so many planets in Capricorn. This is going to go on for 2 years. So there's going to be major Earth changes, geopolitical system changes, the way we do things. Because look, now everyone's, we could do things from home via Zoom or whatever, except for me, I have to go to work. My job's at work. But, schools are going to change the way they do things. And it's also supposed to be a repairing of systems and things that have been destroyed over the past few years. It's going to be a repairing because it's like the Tower card. Oh, yeah, that's the other thing. Tarot is the same thing. With astrology, the first house is self, and it goes all the way around, self, parents, family, money, career, death, karma. The major arcana of tarot are the same thing. You're starting with the Fool. That's the journey. Same thing as the first house. And it just keeps on going. It's basically the travels through life that you will experience. And same thing with astrology. See, everything's connected. Yeah,
everything's connected. Absolutely. Yeah. We do have a couple of questions coming in, and we'll get to tarot here in just a moment. So question from Joy H. Does Victoria have any good sources for learning more about astrology in general? I know Quarantine goes through some links down in there to get your natal chart done, but do you have some good sources?
Yes, there's this wonderful lady on YouTube. Her name is Molly McCord, and she's awesome. She'll talk over your head, and you're like, well, and then she goes back and explains everything. And she actually did a 3-part series on 2020 last year, and she called it the Great American Revolution because the way the planets and stars are right now are the exact same way they were in 1776. And look what happened there. Ripped apart, put back together better. It's the Tower card. I was telling a friend yesterday, she kept getting the Tower card. I'm like, well, that's the most optimistic card you can get in the deck, I think, because you have a foundation, you've ripped it apart, the building, but you still have all the pieces. My lights are dimming. You still have, oh no. We're still having the rain.
Yeah, you're in Houston, and you have the rain from the rain from the hurricane down there. So
yeah, it hadn't stopped in 2 days, but hey, I can dog paddle. So what was I saying? Oh no, that wasn't right.
Tower card.
Oh yeah, you can take all those stones that you've ripped down because the building has fallen down. Now you can rebuild it, but hey, make sure you make room for like a wet bar and a hot tub and all that kind of stuff because now you've learned. Now you know what you want.
All right. Hot tub and a wet bar in the tower.
Top floor.
There you go. Yeah, penthouse of the tower.
All right. Yes. That'd be cool. With an observatory. Oh, an observatory.
Put an observatory at the top of the tower. There you go.
I like this.
Cool. So Fungi asks, Fungi.
Fungi.
What does it mean to have Mars in your Scorpio?
Scorpio is basically hidden secrets. The main planet that rules Scorpio, I think, is the moon. The moon is all about emotional secrets. And you had what, Mars? Is that what she said?
Yeah, Mars.
Mars is called the warrior planet. It's what you're going to fight for. So you're fighting to keep something concealed, keeping it hidden. Maybe you only want to reveal it to those who you actually trust and you want to reveal it.
Okay, very cool. There you go, Fungi. Now, we were talking about, or you kind of segued right into it, tarot and how it's all connected, with astrology and everything. And we were kind of, before the show, while waiting for everything to boot back up, we were kind of showing off our different tarot decks to each other. So this was my first one that I kind of threw up there, Ghost Tarot. I have a couple more now, but...
How long have you had that?
This one I've had for a couple of years, yeah.
When I was 5 or 6 or something, I don't know. My sister went up to Boston and she brought me back the little witch tarot. They're actually playing cards, but they're the witch fortune telling cards. I'm like, oh, great, that was my first deck. But I think I need an intervention. I quit counting at 25 decks, and
you said you had quite a few, yeah.
Yeah, I have a lot. But I got this really cool one the other day. I don't know if y'all have seen it. It's called the Vice Versa deck.
Okay. So what's this one supposed to do?
This is, okay. So here's your typical, you got your reversals and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't do that with this. Look at this. Okay. Where's
There's no reversals. There you go. There's no reversals in this. Okay.
I don't read reversals anyway. Okay. So there's the Fool, right? And he's getting ready to jump.
Okay.
Right. But then this is what he's looking at.
Oh.
His loyal friend. What?
Yeah, right there.
There he is. Okay. So this is, and then the same thing with the Magician. Everyone's used to this card of the Magician, but this is what he's looking at.
Oh, that's interesting.
So it's hard.
How do you shuffle that? Like, how would you pull from that?
When I shuffle, wait, let me watch my words. I basically look like a blackjack dealer on crack. I just shuffle and then cards just come flying out.
Okay.
So that's how I shuffle. I just shuffle, and then whatever is meant to come out usually comes out. And I have 2 or 3 decks, because what if you do a reading and you use like 8 cards, but you need that one card in there for a clarifier or something. So I get a second deck. I just keep going.
Interesting. So you're just grabbing cards when you're shuffling. You're just grabbing cards that fall out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Usually I'm just talking to somebody. I think, was it you? Yeah, it must have been you. I was telling. I have friends that call and say, "Hey, can you read for me?" I'm like, "Sure, okay." So we'll get online on Facebook, and I'll just do like a video, something, and we'll be chatting, whatever she wants to know or they want to know. So I'm shuffling cards, and a friend of mine was thinking about dating this guy. She goes, "Can you read for me?" I'm like, "Okay." So I'm talking to her, and then I get like loud voices in my head, and all I heard Mike in my head. I was like, oh my God. And I was like, who's Mike? And why is he sitting on my bed? Because I'm on my bed doing it.
Okay.
That's my husband. He died like 8 years ago. I'm like, oh, well, your husband's on my bed. Can you get your husband off my bed, please? But it was just so weird that he showed up. And I don't know if she ever dated the guy or not, but, Mike was there.
So Fungi was wondering if with that deck, if you would have to have your eyes closed to draw a card.
I usually don't look anyway. I just shuffle and they fly out and they flip and like, okay, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
So like I say, I'm always chatting and it's the Aquarius in me. No.
Seems like everybody kind of has their own different way of doing it. Mm-hmm. Like I'll spread out all the cards, and mind you, I'm still pretty new at doing this. I'll spread out all the cards, and it's like I'll run my hands, kind of hover it over the top of the cards, and at some point I'll feel like a little puff of air, and then like I'll grab, that card. So
It's warmer, or you can feel like magnetically drawn down to it or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of interesting. So, but you had a bunch more decks there too.
Well, I was told, I was getting a reading done one time, and the lady told me, don't read tarot, it's too masculine for you. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking, well, I'm pretty masculine, so, well, okay. I'm not a girly girl. You know, I will kill a bug. I will take the lizard outside. I've always had to take care of myself, so, you know, I can, you know, my proudest moment was putting in a new, what do you call it, RAM in my computer with a butter knife, you know.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, I'm resourceful. So she told me to read oracle cards because oracle cards are more feminine, but they don't really make sense to me. They're more like, hey, a bonus reading. So I have a lot of them. Have you ever heard of Doreen Virtue?
Can't say that I have.
She was really big, probably late 80s, going into the 90s, and she did like beautiful artwork. All these different oracle reading cards. You know, I have the Romance Angel and the Archangel, and there's like, I don't know, 30, 40 different kinds she has. And then she made a ton of money off of them. And then one day, she had a come to Jesus meeting or something, and she's like, I was just kidding.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So now if you can find her decks, because she doesn't do them anymore, and she's totally, you know, flipped the script, those are the decks you want to get, because I think they're going to increase in value. So speaking of, I have the Archangel Michael, which usually have like a little prayer at the end, you know, if you need some clarification or just a positive thing. But most of my friends are really interested in romance because, you know, that's just what we do. And so there's the Romance Angel cards. They're pretty cool. And I have a new deck that I haven't really played with much. Excuse me. It's called Moonology. And so it's got the different phases of the moon and where the moon can be. So, and they just give you something to think about. You know?
Yeah. So what's the difference between tarot and oracle?
Tarot is basically the journey of life. It starts with the Fool and ends with the World. And then all the little, you know, like the Ace 2, 3, 4, and 5, those are like little comma. Meanwhile, you know, they give you a little bit more clarification on the subject. In the oracle cards, like I said, they're just the icing on the cake. Like this one.
Okay.
Leo, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Leo, and you have it's a lunar eclipse. It looks like.
Yeah, just confidence is your key to success. New moon in Leo, you know. So it's just like a little more.
Oh, it's a new moon. Okay.
Yeah, so, you know, watch for the next new moon. Maybe something's going to happen.
Okay, cool. Sharon Lane was asking, should you be mindful of who you allow to personally read for you?
Yeah, I don't trust people. So, no, I mean, that's just me. I don't trust people. I've been screwed over too many times in life. But I do have a couple people that I do trust to read. A lot of times I don't let friends read for me because they think they know me. They really don't. They all think, you know, you just want, you know, seventh house, you know, you want your seventh house in order, you know. And I'm like, no, I want to know about my career. So
right.
They have a preconceived idea of what they think I am or what I want. So it's better to go to a stranger.
Interesting. Okay. We've had a request here. If we could you and I each pull one random card. What is this? One random card. Have Victoria read both of them, I guess, for what's happening for this week.
Okay.
So I guess we're each going to pull a random card. I'm going to use Edgar Allan Poe Tarot.
I want that deck.
It's pretty cool.
If you go back to my natal chart, my birthday's on there. I'm just saying. Okay. So you'll know when my birthday is.
Although I haven't really pulled from this deck yet. It was a gift that I got just a couple of weeks ago. I think I've pulled once from it. The one that I have been pulling most from lately is the Wizard's Tarot.
I see your Wizard's Tarot, and I raised you an everyday witch.
Yeah, everyday witch.
So. Okay. I'm just going to wait till then. So what do you want to know?
It's for what's happening this week. So you and I, the request is we each pull one random card, and you read both of them.
And you be a little bit more specific? Like, what do you mean? Oh, okay. Well, this one popped out. I got mine.
All right, so I've got them. You guys can't see. I have them all down in front here, and I can already feel that it's on the right side. All right. Ace of Wands here.
Oh, new beginning. That's what that means. And mine's a Two of Cups. So harmony and partnerships. Interesting. Is something new starting?
I mean, I don't know. It's just an in general reading. So, I mean, if it was specifically for me, yeah, new stuff is certainly starting in a number of different areas for me, both with work in Haunted Road Media related stuff. So, I have a lot of that type of stuff going on now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have a horrible laugh, by the way. I'll try not to laugh. Wait, how do you do this? Stage left. There you go. That's you.
There you go.
There.
You got nine of discs. Interesting. Is that supposed to be?
That's for you.
Okay.
Financial stability.
Oh, okay. Good. That's always good.
Yeah. Okay. This is fun. What else can we do?
Nice. Carrie Parrish saying, Mike, Victoria, those are prophetic. Thanks. So, and that was Quarantine Ghost's idea, by the way.
Oh.
So thank you, QG. So that was kind of fun.
Do I get a cookie now?
Yeah. Let's get cookies.
Oh, I had a thought. Okay, if you don't have entity, right? Remember entity?
Entity. Okay, yeah.
Okay. And you make wine, right?
I do. Yes.
I like wine. I have a name for you.
What? What's the name?
Earthbound Spirits.
Earthbound Spirits. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, the one that I did, and I was supposed to, well, I haven't done it yet. I have the video that I was going to put up on Facebook of actually doing some of the winemaking, and it's a Zinfandel. So when I actually bottle it and put the labels on and everything, it's going to be Zin as in like Zen, Findel.
Very much. Yeah, I like it. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we're doing stuff Saturday, but it's not going to have a name. Well, it does, but yeah, it's probably illegal in a couple states. So.
Yeah, it could very well be. So
alcohol. I'm talking alcohol. Yeah.
Right.
We're keeping traditions alive. Okay.
Yeah. So all right. So we talked astrology. We talked tarot. We get into a little divination here, maybe with pendulums.
All right. Let me tell you about my pendulum.
Let's hear about your pendulum.
I just bought one. I'm down here in the Bible Belt. You know, there's not a lot of metaphysical stores, but there's a really nice one called Body, Mind, and Spirit.
Okay.
Every time I get a pendulum, it lies to me. It tells me yes when it's really no. And so I found a pendulum, and it has quartz on the bottom and moldavite on the top.
Oh, that's interesting. Yes, familiar with moldavite. Yes.
So I picked it up, and it was spinning around like crazy. And I said, "Ooh, you know, pendulums lied to me. Are you going to lie to me?" And it went, "No." I said, "Are you lying to me now?" And it said, "No." I said, "Okay." It's like, "Are we going to make it to happy hour?" And it said, "No." I said, "Okay, do you want me to buy you and come home with me?" And it said, "Yes." I was like, "Oh, damn it! You know, I got to buy a pendulum." So I bought it. I haven't been able to use it because the vibration of it is so high. I tried again today. I was just holding it, and I could feel my heart racing, and I was getting all shaky because it's such a high vibrational stone. I don't know how to use it. So, I mean, but you use pendulums, right? I mean, I can't get it to work.
I mean, I do a little bit. So this one was a another gift from a friend of mine. So it's a tiger's eye pendulum, and I was doing a paranormal investigation at it was Old Licking County Jail in Ohio, down in Newark, and so my friend Sabrina was showing me her collection of stones and pendulums and stuff like that, and when I touched this, I just got like an immediate buzz, and I was like, "Whoa!" And she just said, "Well, yeah, you can just go ahead and have that. It's never done anything for me, but you know, it's apparently calling out to you." And so, yeah, she showed me how to use it because I hadn't really used a pendulum before that. I've used it on occasion, I used it at Spiral Mounds down in Oklahoma, and it was pretty interesting because the pendulum was getting a lot of action on top of the mountain. We're not talking a burial mound, people. It was an old site where a temple had been. And then down on the ground off of the mound, it wasn't doing anything. So there was a lot of energy amped up on that old temple site. So
is there a telluric current?
Very
the right word?
Telluric current, yeah, very well could be. Some of that earth energy and whatnot. So I'd like to do more with pendulums. I haven't done anything like the pendulum boards, which is kind of like the Ouija board, but using a pendulum. Don't do that. Well, I stay away from that stuff anyway because I do spirit communication with like a digital audio recorder and all that, but I guess I haven't been trained or what have you with like a Ouija board or what have you, which we're going to be talking about on Beyond the Shadows next show. But
I can't get those to work.
Yeah, well,
my daughter is extremely talented, but being the only child, we've always just had the two of us, that dynamic. And I was like, oh, look at the beautiful blue sky, honey. She's like, no, it's azure, Mom. I go, oh, damn it. Okay, fine. So it's one of those kind of relationships. And when she was like 2 or 3, we were in a store and she picks up a pendulum. It starts going crazy and it reacts to her. But, because this is something I'm interested in. No part of it,
So interesting comment here from Kathy Salento. She says, now that you picked a name, Mike, I'm guessing this is about the wine. Now that you picked a name, do the numbers on the name and see what it adds up to. Numbers never lie. So I do believe in numerology. What about you?
Oh, yeah, totally. Like 2016, remember that year?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember 2016? Everybody died. Everybody died. All movie stars, rock stars, political figures. Add those numbers up. What is it?
What?
2016?
2016. I mean, there's a couple different ways you could add them up, but
2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 6.
Yeah. So 9.
9 is an ending.
Okay.
So they came and fulfilled their mission, I guess, and they ended.
And they all ended. Interesting. So do you have any numbers that follow you around? Because that's something that I have found, that there'll be certain numbers throughout my life that tend to follow me around.
22.
22?
It's a master number. It's my birthday. Every time I turn around, there's 22. I'm like, oh, okay. So.
Yeah, 21. 21's one that follows me, and that's also my birthday, but I see that in a lot of different places. 10's another. Oddly, the number 823 shows up. I've had that as a house number. I've had it on a license plate. There's a lot of times I look up and the time is 823. There'll be times like I just in line to get something to eat, and they give you a number, and the ticket's like 820. Really? Okay.
Did you ever watch the X-Files? Okay, this is my little nerd bit coming through, and it'll say like, Washington D.C., March 3rd, 1023 or something.
Right.
Do you know where those numbers came from?
No.
Those were like birthdays and anniversaries.
Really?
That were important to the people who made the show.
Oh, that's funny.
So that was just like a little, hey, I'm thinking of you.
Right.
Because like 1023, who cares what time it was, whatever. But yeah.
That's funny.
Little nerd bit, yeah.
A little bit of trivia about the X-Files. All right. So you guys go ahead. Feel free to ask any questions about any of these topics that we've been talking about, whether it's tarot, divination, numerology, and anything else. What you got there? Palmistry. Okay, let's get into palmistry.
I have.
Do you read people's palms?
Somewhat. Okay, maybe I shouldn't say this. First dates are always fun. You can look on the side, and it tells how many relationships you'll have.
Uh-oh.
I'm like, well, how many times have you been married? Oh, okay, well, it's nice knowing you. And the other side's kids, important relationships. But there are some things, it's not all hocus pocus and mystery and I'm a gypsy and all this kind of stuff. There's actual physical, biological things like on the fingertips of a person, if they have all these lines, it's you're stressed. Well, yeah, I'm stressed because I walk around with my fists clenched. So that's where these lines actually come from. So, give or take. I have a money cross on my hand. I'm waiting for it. But,
You're waiting for the money? Okay. What about the lifeline?
I have a very long lifeline, and it goes down into my tattoo. So.
Oh, wow.
So, who knows?
Yeah, because I've followed it, and it seems to like wrap around. So I have a long one as well, but it seems to like wrap around my whole hand. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, if you look at it, you can see the chains in it, and if there's breaks and stuff, you have to figure out how many years it is. But I've had people who don't know me at all, and they've actually have read my palm, and they say, "Oh, what happened when you were 13?" And I would tell them, like, "Oh, what happened when you were 7?" I would tell them, and sure enough, it's there in my hand. But oh, yeah, that's what I was going to tell you. Your thumb. How far back does your thumb go?
Not too far. Yeah, not very far. That's it.
Really?
Yeah, that's it.
That's a sign of creativity.
Huh.
The further back, if you're like that, you're very linear. You're a thinker. This way you're creative.
I mean, I can twist my.
Or you broke it, with me, No. There's just so many little things like face recognition. Like one of the typical signs for a Libra is the one dimple in the cheek, and I have one dimple in my cheek.
Oh,
so
okay.
Go up to a person, and if they only have one dimple, you go, "Oh, but you're a Libra." All the zodiacs have little tails like that.
Interesting. Okay, but is that ascendant or descendant, or does that not matter?
That would be your solar sun sign. Oh, and then, oh my gosh, I have one for you. Okay. The outer planets, right, are the major movers and shakers in your life, right?
Okay.
So the moment you're born, Saturn is in one place, and it takes Saturn 29 years to make a complete orbit, to get back to where it was. So that's called your Saturn return. Usually something major happens in your life when you're 29. It's not always bad. It's like, you married, changed jobs, you had a kid. It's something where your life is going along this way, and all of a sudden it's like, no, we're going to go this way just a little bit. So what happened?
Oh, it was it really would have been the year before, though, when I was 28.
Well, give or take.
Give or take a little? Okay.
Yeah. It's the cosmos,
Mm-hmm.
So, something would happen. So the beauty of that is most of us live long enough to have a second Saturn return, because Pluto, it's not going to make it. It's not even going to make one return.
Oh, Pluto's my planet. Come on.
Yeah, but how many years is it going to take?
I don't know. How long does Pluto take to go around the sun? Somebody's got to have that down there in the chat.
Alexa, how long does it take Pluto to make a complete rotation?
Here's something I found on reference.com. Jupiter has the shortest day of any planet in the solar system. Taking just under 10 hours to complete a single rotation.
There you go. Well, you asked about a rotation. It would be how long does it take to orbit the sun?
Oh, I meant Pluto anyway.
Yeah.
It's a long time. It's out there. Anyway, I don't know.
I have a question here from Betty Lange. Have you ever read more than one person and end up with overlap?
You mean like in tarot? Or?
I don't know. That's the question I have. Well, we could wait for Betty to define that a little bit better.
I was thinking, I mean, I picked up on like somebody totally else, but no, usually the way it's always fun for me. So I'm always chatting and laughing and joking and shuffling cards, and they come flying out. So while I'm chatting and talking, I'm kind of building a rapport with that person, I guess you could say, keying in on their energy. A lot of times I get weird names and stuff, and it's like, oh, you remember Mike? Who's Mike? He's my dead husband. Oh, well, dead husbands, they come around a lot over here, I guess. I don't know.
Okay. The people are throwing down their different weird. Okay, so Carrie Parrish, 2.17 million hours. That I have no idea what that translates to into years or whatever. In B3 airspace, Pluto, 6 days, 9 hours, and 36 minutes to rotate. Although your
Not around the Earth. No.
though your Alexa said 10 hours, so I don't know.
That's like to turn one rotation.
Yeah, we're looking for how long it takes to orbit the sun. So,
I don't know.
I
I
don't
won't
know.
be around.
We got about 3 different answers. Here we go. Deconstructing Fear says 248 years for Pluto to orbit. Thank you. All right.
Okay. I'll only be around for one rotation then.
Yeah, we won't be around for one single orbit. So for a Pluto return, you have to live to be 248.
Well, okay. I've got nothing going on. So.
Eh, well, I'll have half that. I'm trying to live till 126.
Okay. Do you have a mission? Is there something going on then, or?
I want to see. We talked about numerology a moment ago. The number 21 follows me around. I want to see the year 2100.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a good goal.
I'd have to be 126 to do
We can do
that.
it.
So we had Bernice Golden on here a couple years ago. Threw that one at her, and she said, "Yeah, you're going to make it to 127." I was like, "Cool."
Start taking those vitamins. You know.
I do. So
Okay.
I hope they're the right ones.
Uh-oh.
So Sharon Lane is wondering if you are a psychic or intuitive.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's kind of. I think we've kind of established that. But do you have like a speciality?
Motherhood is my specialty.
Oh my gosh.
No, nobody believes me. So when I had my Akashic records done a couple of years ago, that was one of the things. I just need to let go. I don't have to prove myself. People don't have to believe me. I don't. People are people. People are. No. It's a joke, and now it's kind of stuck. But there was a while there when I was called the paranormal perfect storm.
Oh wow.
It's not my fault. Okay, let me just say it's not my fault. My mother's side are all from, they're all gone now, from deep in East Texas, and they were the not quite on the level of deliverance, but they were to themselves. They all had the herbal cures. They were all the wise women. They had their, I need a red candle on Friday and all this kind of stuff. And it wasn't until a couple of years ago I remembered my grandmother actually had a cauldron in the front yard, but it had a big hole in it, so she put plants in it. And so my mom's side is very intuitive. They're very, if you want to call them psychic, but they were all good Baptist women, so they did do that. And then my dad's side, we're kind of nomadic. And when I did our genealogy, my dad's like, we have gypsies. And they would always tease me because I would move so much. I mean, I've moved across the country, I don't know how many times, because, my job. And I just had so many apartments, and it's like, we have gypsies. So I was getting a reading a couple of years ago, and the lady was doing automatic channeling and automatic writing. And so she starts describing my grandfather, and she was telling me how he died. I was like, well, that's exactly right. It turns out my grandfather was the first ghost or spirit or whatever you want to call it that I saw when I was 7.
Oh, okay.
So he showed up. So yeah, my grandpa kind of hangs out with me. And then she said, you have gypsy blood. I've heard. She's, it's your grandmother Magdalena. I was like, no, that's my great grandmother. She's like, she's a Roma gypsy, that they left Germany right before everything hit the fan.
Oh wow.
Oh, I didn't know that. So if you combine the two, you either have fun party tricks or me.
So you move around. You've got some intuitiveness going on. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Know when to leave. Like, this job's wearing down. I need to go.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
So of all this stuff that we've been talking about, I mean, we did some tarot. We even pulled a card. We busted out the pendulums. We talked about palm reading. All this. What's your favorite aspect of this? What's your favorite thing to do here?
I do love tarot. That's really fun, but scrying is probably the easiest one to do.
Oh, okay.
Most people have to gaze into the crystal ball or look into a black mirror or whatever. But I guess it's because I, never had friends growing up or anything. I didn't have anybody to talk to. But if you learn to just listen and you can kind of shift into another reality, basically. You just get messages all the time.
Okay. From Alina the Fam, do our favorite colors say anything about us?
They might echo your aura, I guess. Everyone's got the aura, different kinds. So yeah, I would say they would. They also change your reality. It can change the vibration. Like if you're feeling sick, wear something green, because the green has a certain vibration of health and healing.
Okay. So
Yeah.
do you work with auras at all, or you're just knowledgeable of it?
No, I just see.
You see auras. Okay.
Yeah, you can tell when somebody's, not good. It's just, you perceive that. Everything is connected. It's just the vibrational.
I've heard
energy
that
of it.
somewhere before. Everything's connected.
I don't know. It's, it's like when we had Mark Forentino on, and he was talking about the ether and how covalent bonds actually have matter in or mass, and they're all put together in space, and it's just not empty. And I was like, well, and I was thinking, well, first of all, I don't want to be rude. I was thinking, well, I already know that. I mean, how are you just now figuring that out? But science has actually backed it up now. So, I mean, this is something I've always known growing up. But, now science is catching up with us.
Finally, yeah. Yeah, to me, it's funny how we've kind of gone back and forth between, some sort of, spiritualism or religion or whatever, and that being the main focus of our culture to, now it's science-based. And but you see a lot of people, especially like in this community, and I don't want to say, religious, but certainly spiritual. And at some point you think, these two would finally get together and realize, hey, we're all related, and the one can actually help prove the other,
Exactly. It's like those pictures I sent you last night of, just ghosts and stuff. They're there, like, take pictures, and then there's something manifesting in the pictures later. So, I mean, everything is connected.
That's right. Connected universe.
Ooh.
I've heard of that before.
I even know what you're going to do with it, but I can't tell yet.
Oh, you know what I'm going to do with it. Okay. Okay.
Not yet. No, that's yeah. I think I was sending you the message, and I was like, oh my god.
Did I tell you?
No, you tell me nothing. I don't know anything.
Okay.
But I know.
But you know. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
So from Fussy What, do you think dreams have meaning, or are they just dreams?
Oh no, they totally have meaning. Apparently I don't sleep, because I get more done that way. But when I do sleep, almost every night, there's always a song repeating in my head. And it's not the entire song. It's just a fragment of the song, and it's like the chorus or something.
Mm-hmm.
Toss, turn, toss, turn. You hear the song all night long. So I get up in the morning and I Google it. What is this song? And you Google the words, and sure enough, there's something in there that'll jump out at you, some phrase like, oh, okay, so that's what I need to be doing, or yeah, it's crazy. Or that, or sleepwalking. That's another, well, not sleepwalking like a zombie, but sleepwalking into people's dreams. That's a fun one.
Okay. So was that like astral projecting into somebody's dream?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's really fun when you do it, and then a couple of days later they go, you were in my dream the other night.
So do you astral project?
Sometimes.
Yeah. Is that something that you know how to do? You can just sit down and boom, project yourself somewhere?
Usually when I'm going to sleep, if you like kind of daydream, or you see something in your head, or try and resolve a problem, and then the next thing you wake up and you're like, oh, okay. So I always tell my daughter, yeah, well, last night when I was asleep, I remembered how to fix this, or I came up with an answer. So, just don't sleep. Yeah.
So
It's overrated.
Yeah, sleep is overrated. It's a waste of time.
Da Vinci only took naps, and so he got more things done because he never slept.
See,
I'm not Da Vinci.
Totally get it.
No.
You're not?
No. No. Einstein, maybe. I'm just kidding. No.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Yeah.
From Kathy Salento, Being Victoria has a tad gypsy in her, does she believe in curses?
Yes, because they're manifestations. That's why I try and watch what I say.
Okay.
So yeah,
Yeah.
Karma. Karma will
Don't
come
yeah.
back.
Don't say something negative because you'll accidentally manifest it. Is that the idea?
Yeah. And now they're actually doing it now with like The Secret and what do you call it? Esther Hicks or whatever she does. The manifestation, you know.
So basically, like law of
Law
attraction.
of attraction.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'd get there sooner or later.
Yeah. But see, I've seen that work. So, like when I first watched The Secret, and they had the example of the parking space, and so I doubted. I was like, really, get yourself the parking space that you want. So, driving to the grocery store, and I'm like, all right, fine. I'm going to envision, this parking space right there, boom, in front of the door, all that. And as I'm pulling into the parking lot, there's this car backing out of that spot, pulling away. And sure enough, I got it. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I was just busting the gut.
No, yeah. It's really fun if you can do that and, your radio's going. And as soon as you pull in and get ready to turn off the car, if the radio ends the song, you're in total sync with the universe right then.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, yeah. So
That's pretty cool. I didn't realize you could do that with a song that was playing.
oh, yeah.
Okay.
Just don't put like Bohemian Rhapsody on or you'll be looking for a parking place for a long time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this: the song I was listening to today to get the gas to put in the car for the to put in the container for the lawnmower. It took me the song that I was listening to exactly till I got to the gas station, and then of course all the way back was the exact length of the song. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't ever think of it having some sort of correlation like that.
Yeah. Everything relates to everything. Mike, everything relates to everything. Come on.
I know everything's connected, but to me, like really okay. To me, it was just a song. So okay.
Nope. There's a meaning behind everything.
Yeah.
It's like you go outside and you do something and there goes a dragonfly. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, there's change coming. Okay.
Interesting, because this past weekend when I was out in Rhode Island hanging out with Carl Johnson, Carl Johnson and Elise Carlson, we were at Swan Lake Cemetery, which to visit the grave of H.P. Lovecraft. And what was interesting is as we're over there, we're seeing this thing hovering in the sky. It was huge. We're looking up, and at first it was like, is that a hummingbird? Because it was that big, and it turned out it was a huge dragonfly.
Ooh.
And it was kind of buzzing off over there. And as we're talking about looking at it, trying to confirm exactly what it was, it starts coming closer and closer and closer. And we're like, oh yeah, it is a dragonfly. And once we confirmed it was a dragonfly, it went off again. It's kind of funny.
See, you can manifest. Try working on money now.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
a quarter, like, because if you see a quarter on the ground, most people pick up a quarter. People don't pick up pennies, so try and manifest a quarter.
Manifest a quarter. Okay.
Yeah.
I could try that.
Yeah, that's easy.
All right. So from Sharon Lane, Victoria, when you dream about someone you haven't seen in a long time, what do you think that means?
It means I'm asleep. I mean, I don't get the sleep. I sleep about 3 or 4 hours a day because I just can't sleep. I don't know. Maybe they're doing the astral projection thing. I usually don't dream about people. I dream about situations, how to solve situations. Yeah, I don't dream about people.
Interesting. I dream about a lot of people, so I guess
Aw.
everybody's dreams are a little bit different. We're getting down toward the end of the show. I'll try to grab another question or two here just before we sign off. From Christine Louviere. Victoria, what scrying tool do you like to use?
Do you remember the, what were they called, magic eye pictures where you would look into them and there would be a giraffe all of a sudden and those kind of things? Just learn how to defocus your eyes. So just kind of look off, and I've actually been doing it, and people will turn around and look like, "What are you looking at?" I'm like, I'm looking through space and time. You can't see it. Yeah, but you just look, and it's altering your consciousness is all it really is.
Okay. Kind of like
Looking into a candle flame or a crystal ball, you just disconnect.
Okay.
You look inside.
Cool. And then this, we'll take this last question and wrap it up, and then we'll get to Beyond the Shadow. So, Robert Hanna, does karma have anything to do with any of this?
Karma?
Karma.
How many tacos do I get, Robert? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think karma plays a big part. One of the things you can do is look at your hands and see how wrinkled they are. I have had old lady hands since I was a little kid. It was always embarrassing, so I'd, keep my hands tight so you couldn't see them, or I'd wear a lot of lotion and stuff. And that's a sign that you've lived many lives before, because it just indicates how many times you've been around. So if you have very smooth, young-looking hands, Robert, karma's coming, baby. Better hope for some old, wrinkly hands.
Nice. All right, so that'll do it, guys, for the questions for tonight, because we are at our hour mark. Victoria, thank you for indulging us in this show and tapping your knowledge of all these different things. Astrology, tarot, divination. You talked about scrying. We talked numerology, palmistry, all these fantastic things. So thank you very much for this.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Get your natal chart. It's going to be eye-opening. You're going to go, oh my God.
Do the natal chart.
Mm-hmm.
So QG did put the link down in there. I'll have to dig that link up later on.
It's fun. You could use it to play poker.
Because that's what you do. You use it to play poker.
People think I'm a dumb airhead, but I'm like the little pig with the Geico pinwheel out the door. No, I'm not.
Wow. All right. Well, everybody, we will go ahead and wrap up this show. We'll get to the shout-outs here. Victoria, again, thank you so much. Quarantine Ghost, thank you for moderating haunting the chat down there and feeding me all the questions. I would normally, I guess, ask, where can they find your book? All the books back there.
They're all over the place, I'm on Twitter. I talk to everybody on Twitter.
You do a lot on Twitter. I'm always finding myself trying to catch up on Twitter because I'll see like this whole slew of, Victoria responded. And, no, it's great. You do a far better job on there than I. It's like I'm supposed to be hitting social media, and it's like, so I try.
You do. Great job.
So V Mundae out there at Twitter. So go find her. All right. Let's go ahead and get to the rest of the shout-outs. Our Deep Down the Rabbit Hole Patreon patrons, Tom McNicholas, B3 Aerospace, Andrew Cox, Dustin Samario, David Yeisley, and Joe Chandler. Thank you all for being Deep Down the Rabbit Hole Patreon patrons once again. All right. And then for everybody else, patreon.com/onroadmedia. I got a lot of stuff that's going to be uploaded there. I know I haven't posted anything probably in like 2 weeks, but with the trip I just had, a lot of stuff is going to be going up there. So,
cool. Looking forward to it.
Yep. Victoria's on there.
Yeah. Tom and I have chats with you.
Yeah. It's funny because there are like a number of people that are at that, the getting the ghost level and above that can get in on those video calls each month. And it's like you and Tom.
Groupies, what can I say?
Yeah, you guys are great. So, All right. Let's get to the rest of the shout-outs here. Participants tab. We've got Betty Lange and Brandon Wallace. There's Carrie Parrish. Great to see you. Kathy Salento, thank you very much. Donna Liska, thanks for joining us this evening. There's Alina the Fam. Thank you as always. Helen Espinoza, thank you as well. Jennifer Bloomer and Joy H, thank you very much. Julie Fett, great to see you down there. There's Katie Palmer and Mr. CO2. Thank you as well. Nick Moulet, great to see you, buddy. Pungai Fungi, the funnest name to say. There's Robert Hanna, Sharon Lane, Stanton's Journeys. That's Christopher Stanton. Thank you very much. TFT Tarot for Today. So we got a tarot channel down in there.
That's my friend.
Oh, that's your friend? Okay, cool.
A Twitter friend, yeah.
Cool. Twitter friend down in there. Cool. So Twitter. There we go.
It's the new thing.
The Twitter is so new. No, I remember when my son, my oldest son Colin, first got on Twitter, and this was like I don't know, like 2008 or whatever, and he kept pushing it back then, and so I finally got on a couple years later.
You're
there's
limited. There's so many characters you can do.
yeah. Oh, it was really limited back then. You can do more now.
Oh.
So well, it was like 140 before. Now it's 240 characters. It's still limited, but
Yeah.
not as like it was before. There's the Haglin and Tracy Christian. Thank you very much. I know our Fairy Queen, Hunter Road Media's Fairy Queen, Diane Hilbert, was in there somewhere. See who the participants have missed. There's Jody B. Thank you very much. Adam Tillery lurking. There's the eyes. Yeah. Let's see. Anybody else? I'm not seeing anybody else. If we missed you, I do apologize. We tried to get everybody, but it's hard to get everybody. So Beyond the Shadows coming up next. We're going to be talking about haunted objects. So stay tuned for that. That'll be coming on directly after this show. Give me a couple minutes to switch everything out here, the software side of it, grab a drink, freshen up, get the blue light out if I remember it, because I only remember it like half the time. All that fun stuff. So, there's Tammy Heitzman as well. And, okay. So, that's it for Edge of the Rabbit Hole. Get your pendulum. Get your tarot decks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, when we had to move one time, I put them in a suitcase and I still didn't have enough room. Oh, you didn't see my.
Ooh, Dali Tarot. Nice.
Those are the certificate of authenticity.
Those are really, wow.
Yeah, there's only it's a limited edition. So, if you want to get me a birthday present, Mike, the Hello Kitty tarot deck.
Hello Kitty.
It's running about 200 right now, so. Yeah, it's extreme limited. So.
Wow. All right.
Okay. Maybe
okay. So
I thought I'd try.
All right, everybody. So stay tuned. Beyond the Shadows coming up next. Victoria, thank you once again. Absolutely appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike. I had best hour of the week.
It is. It is the best hour of the week. And
yes,
so,
indeed.
Best hour of the week's after show coming up next.
I was going to say. Ooh, it's like, never mind. I won't say that.
Okay. Oh, Julie Fett saying Dali Tarot is beautiful. A favorite I own. So Julie owns it. Nice.
Oh my gosh, the Four of Swords. It's a magnificent work of art. It really is.